Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Princess Leia got reworked, and let me tell you, her rework makes her look so much better, not just for the raids, but also way more viable as a PvP and arena character. Now, ever since a rework was announced for Princess Leia, the one concern that a lot of people have been coming to me about is, McMull, what does this mean for Princess Zody overall? A lot of people have been concerned about this because, again, this is one of your top meta raid teams. So this is something that I've been concerned about personally. I was terrified about it. This is something I've been very concerned about. I brought to the developers. I was like, guys, if this rework is going to ruin the Princess Zody team, I'm pretty much cannot be behind it. But thankfully, I am glad to say this rework has completely demolished those fears. Let's go ahead and talk about what her new abilities look like, and we'll talk about just what does this mean for our Princess Zody teams overall. So here you can see the before and after of her abilities. On the left, you have what her abilities are currently in the game, but once the rework goes through next week in preparation for the Commander Luke event, what her abilities will then look like will be listed on the right. It does look like it's pulled from the swgoh.gg page. That's not the case, that's just me photoshopping stuff in. Did a little nice handy Photoshop job there if I do say so myself, you know. Little humble bragging. Anyways, so yeah, you can see on the right that once the rework comes in, she's going to have a 70% chance to attack a second time, and that third attack is going to have a 55% chance instead of the old 55 and 40% chances, respectively. So yeah, you have that another 15% chance to attack for both of those, and of course you have the turn meter gain chances with it already. And then for Rebel Tactics, originally, it used to be that she had a chance to gain offense up, but now they've changed it so you can see here she now gains stealth and crit damage up for 3 turns and gains 50% turn meter the first time she uses the stealth ability. But if it's on a 3-turn cooldown and she gains those buffs for 3 turns, with the Omega, it reduces that cooldown down to 3 turns. And now what you can do is you can stealth again while she's already in there. If she already has stealth, she now gains offense up and foresight as well. And once fully upgraded, she will gain 100% turn meter. So this is going to be huge for your Princess Zody teams. We'll go into more detail about that later. You can see her leadership ability, Heart of the Rebellion, has not been changed, which is fine. She wasn't really used for her leadership ability anyways. She does much better as just support character, and Wedge, by far, has a much better leadership than she could ever have. And then finally, you have her unique Against All Odds. It has now been changed. It has a Zeta on it, and let me tell you, this Zeta is quite good. Whenever Leia attacks, she has a 55% chance to grant all allies crit chance up for 2 turns. That has not changed. She still has that RNG crit chance up buff, but because of that Rebel Tactics, it's been changed around a little bit. Again, we'll cover that in more detail later. But now, the Zeta makes it so that she is guaranteed to heal 5% health every time she attacks, and she also regenerates 5% protection now every time she attacks. So the big deal there with the raids was, of course, she wasn't able to stay alive. You were having to stack up health mods on her. Now with the Zeta on her, you will not have to worry about that. So yeah, we'll talk about more of that with the Princess Zody team because everybody wants to know about the Princess Zody, my thoughts on it. As we already know before, I was absolutely terrified that the rework on her was going to neuter the Princess Zody team or make it useless, and definitely looks like that's not going to be the case. This is just the new abilities of what they're going to look like in the game. Let's go ahead and talk about how well she's going to do with the Princess Zody team, and we will go from there. Now, the big thing that everybody was wondering about is just what's going to happen with Princess Leia when you use her in the Princess Zody team with her rework. And I gotta say, looking at these changes, she looks to be a much, much better character than she already was for your Princess Zody runs. She now has a better chance to do the multi-attacks, she now has a 70% chance to do that second attack, and she has a 55% chance to do that triple tap. And those chances are much better now. There's been a lot of complaints about the RNG of that, and just how, if it's really against you, you're not getting a lot of damage, and there's a heavy reliance on RNG with her and getting those buffs. And now, with the increased chances for those attacks, she's going to do much better here. And now, looking at her Rebel Tactics ability, she gains stealth and crit damage up for 3 turns and gains 50% turn meter. And that's not too bad there. She's going to be able to get a nice boost in turn meter there, so you're not having to worry too much about that. But now, if she continues to stealth every time she already has it, she gains 100% turn meter. This has been a very big issue for me personally with it, and that whenever she's not consistently putting on her crit chance up buffs, I'm having to whether or not I should use her stealth to, keep her alive, help her make some more survival so the turrets don't attack her, or having to have her attack more often to get those crit chance up buffs out, because otherwise I may lose a clone in the process. But now, with these changes here, it's almost like they knew about these issues with Princess Zody, because this completely changes the game there. You're no longer having to worry about whether or not you should keep her stealth, or whether or not you need to get those extra attacks in to get that buff. Now, you can stealth and then also get those attacks out at the same time, because she's going to gain a full 100% turn meter, and then she can use her basic attacks to guarantee those more attacks with more crit chance up buffs. So really, this change here is probably my biggest this here has me the most excited about this rework, because now I'm no longer having to worry so much about that, whether or not I should have her stealth, and whether or not she's going to give those buffs out for everybody. And plus, before, she had the RNG chance of whether or not she would gain offense up in the process. Now, she's pretty much always going to have that offense up, and she is going to hit hard. For me, she's usually hitting about 16,000 per attack. With that offense up consistently being on, if your Princess Zody teams are going to start doing a ton more damage now. And then, of course, finally with her Against All Odds unique Zeta. This Zeta is an answer to everyone's prayers. You guys have always been asking about this. This has been a big thing that people have always been coming to me about, is asking, like, how do I make my Princess Leia more survivable? Because everyone keeps having their Leia die because she just can't get a consistent heal off from using her basic attacks. But now, with this Zeta, granted, it is a Zeta investment, and that's a very expensive investment for a lot of people. With this now, she is guaranteed to gain 5% health back and 5% protection every time she uses her basic attacks. This is huge, because now you're no longer having to stack up that health on her. You can now go full-blown offense modded. You could throw on offense on her crosses. You don't have to worry about stacking up the health with secondaries and the primary on the cross. You can go full-blown offense now with Leia with this Zeta, and that is a huge difference for this team, because now you can just make her into this absolute monster. It's going to do massive amounts of damage. And again, this Zeta plus the overall rework to Princess Leia has made your Princess Zody teams way more deadly now. You're looking at a ton more damage you'll be able to give these teams, and that is huge. I can't tell you how excited I am to see this rework. It has me just super excited. I mean, with the increased chances for the double and triple taps, the consistent offense up, and the turn meter boost. This, my gosh, I'm just rambling, but this rework, I'm extremely excited for this. I thought the Farm Boy Luke rework with his stacking crit damage up was going to be crazy, which, by the way, keep an eye out for that. I'm pretty much going to be doing a day one run with clones in him in phase 2. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm going to have a Zeta on him. I'm going to do a run with that, and we're going to see just how much damage Farm Boy Luke can possibly do. So anyways, yes. So Leia probably right now is my most excited rework right now, and Farm Boy Luke is right behind her, because these two characters are now going to be absolute monsters on offense, and especially in the raid. And for arena, it's a whole nother thing. The question is going to be whether or not these buffs are going to be able to help her out. I mean, that foresight on the rebel tactic, it's going to be pretty nice to help her survive. That stealth and foresight combo is a nasty combo that a lot of people hate dealing with, because you can't target that character without AoE attacks, but now they can dodge AoE attacks, and she's going to be moving fast because she's always gaining that turn meter from her basic attack, and she's also going to be gaining 100% turn meter whenever she has stealth already and she uses that ability again. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of stuff here to get excited about with this rework. Overall, this focus has been mostly on Princess Zody, because you guys want to know just what I thought and how well this is going to affect your Princess Zody runs. So I'm super glad to say our fears about this were completely unbased, and I'm glad to say that this is now going to make your Princess Zody teams way more viable and way more deadly. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much my opinion on this rework for Princess Leia. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm sure you guys are going to have questions about this. As always, guys, feel free to like and share this video, subscribe to my channel for more content in the future, and as always, guys, I will talk to you all later.